I'm Jess Sargus, high-performance speaker, certified mental performance mastery coach, and your guide to mastering your mental game. I went from Ivy League trained attorney to undefeated MMA fighter and back again. Now I help high achievers in any field live with fierce agency, deep alignment, and the power to win consistently when it matters most. You can do it all when you train your mindset, energy, and focus like elite athletes. That's why this is the Legal Athlete Podcast, where each week I use neuroscience, performance psychology, and real-world battle-tested strategies to help you unlock sustainable excellence, bold decisions, and the courage to show up each day as the badass you are. Green light. Let's go. Welcome back to the Legal Athlete Podcast, where we talk about mindset, strategies, and science to help you think, execute, and win like an elite athlete in your work and your life. I'm Jess Sargus, and today we're talking about something that can make or break your performance. That's the difference between living from the outside in and living from the inside out. This is inspired by Chapter 5 of Amy Cuddy's Presence book, and it's something that I've seen over and over again in trial work, negotiation, in boardrooms and conference rooms, inside the MMA cage, and coaching high performers. Pretty much everywhere. When you get this right, you unlock presence, courage, and creativity. And when you get it wrong, you choke your own power. So let's start from the outside in, the power drain. When you're living from the outside in, that's when your attention is being hijacked by how you think others see you. It's self-consciousness or social anxiety, what you would call the spotlight effect in psychology, that feeling that everyone is watching you and judging you, even if they're probably actually more concerned with what's going on with them. But in this spotlight effect state, you're busy trying to match an image of yourself that you think other people want to see. But here's the problem. When you do that, you alienate yourself from others and from your authentic self. You can't see situations from another person's point of view, much as you might be trying to. You're instead stuck in your own head, your own interpretation of what they must be thinking, instead of actually tuning into it. And after the fact, you replay events in a distorted way, ruminating on perceived flaws in your performance when your self-consciousness actually prevented you from fully absorbing the situation's complexities while you were in it. And finally, you act from a sense of scarcity, which inhibits your creativity and action. Research backs this up. A study by Kang, Galinsky, Cray, and Shiroko in 2015, and don't worry, the full site will be in the episode notes. They found that when the pressure is on, people who are in low power states, feeling they're in low power, suffer a low power threat. That's a drop in cognitive performance and decision-making accuracy. In other words, you literally think less clearly and perform worse when you're focused on external approval and someone else's power instead of your own internal power. So what does it look like to be working from the inside out? That's your power source. Living from the inside out means centering yourself in your mission, your vision, and principles, that MVP. It's like acting from a sense of personal power, rooted in who you are, what matters to you, and what you really stand for. It's aligning your thoughts and your beliefs with your actions. Amy Cuddy writes this in her book, Presence. If feeling powerless inhibits us, depletes us, and throws us off our game, feeling powerful does the opposite. So this isn't about dominating others. It's about cultivating an expansive, abundant feeling that acts as a buffer against negative emotions. When you operate that way from the inside out, you think, feel, and act in sync, in alignment with who you really are and what you really value. You read and relate to other people better. You make better decisions under complex or stressful conditions. You become more courageous, independent, and less vulnerable to outside pressures. Research by Anna Guinate in 2007, and again, this will also be in the episode note if I have mangled her name's pronunciation. Her research shows that power focuses your attention on your goals and increases your ability to pursue them effectively. You're proactive. You take the shot. You make the call. You close the deal without waiting for someone else's permission. So let's make that elite athlete parallel now. Elite athletes don't enter the ring or the cage thinking about how they look to the crowd. They focus on their game plan, their training, and the moment that they find themselves in. That's the same thing that you can do with an athlete's mindset when you enter a courtroom or a conference room or even a conversation with a loved one. In my book, Fierce Agency, I talk about the difference between reaction and intention. Don't look for it yet. It's coming in the spring. Reaction is outside in. It's dictated by what's happening around you. Intention is inside out. It's driven by what's happening within you. Researchers Staikovich and Luthans in 1998 had a meta-analysis on self-efficacy, and they found a strong link between believing in your ability to perform and actually performing well. Self-efficacy is a cornerstone of your personal power, and you can't build it if you're constantly outsourcing your sense of worth to the audience or what you think someone else is thinking about you from the outside in. So, how do you shift from that outside in to an inside out powerful mindset? Here are 3 quick ways that you can start to flip the switch. First, name your mission before the moment. Go into any high pressure situation knowing the why you're there and what you're there to do. Write it down to make it extra salient in your brain using multiple processing centers. That's what matters when you're present in that room. Keep coming back to that as your touchstone. Number 2, anchor in your body. Remember where you are. Be present. Call that in. You can do it through power poses like Amy Cuddy advocates, or breath work like the physiological sigh that Andrew Huberman has explained so well, or a pre-event ritual. It could even be something that seems minor but is so effective, like dancing to your favorite upbeat or powerful song. Having a ritual like this can signal to your brain that you are safe and you're in control. And finally, third, utilize a post-event reset if you need to. If you find yourself ruminating, do a short reflection. What went well? What did I learn? What can I apply the next time? This keeps the focus on your growth and your learning from the inside out for a greater purpose, not outside in spirals of self-criticism. When you do this practice of inside out anchoring, focusing, and resetting consistently, you're going to rewire your default setting. These start to become your new neural pathways through neuroplasticity. And most importantly, you lead your life from the inside out, present, powerful, and proactive. So the next time that you feel yourself slipping into a how am I coming across mode, stop yourself. Shift to what am I here to do and why? That's the move from outside in to inside out. That's where your power is. Now, if this episode hit home, share it with someone who could use a reminder of their own inner game and their inner power. And if you want to train your personal power, tap into it like an elite athlete, you can learn more about my coaching and speaking at thelegalathlete.com. That's a wrap. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Legal Athlete Podcast. If today's episode fired you up or gave you something to train with, hit follow, leave a review, and share it with a fellow high achiever who's ready to raise their game. Want to bring this energy to your team, firm, or event? Or are you ready to train for your next high-stakes moment with me directly? Click the link in the show notes to connect. I'm Jess Sargus, and I coach the bold, lawyers, leaders, and anyone ready to lead their life with fierce agency. Green light, let's go.